Hello, hello. Is it going? Oh,
It's going. Good afternoon. I think we're live.
we are now live. I got other things popping up on my computer confusing me. I'm like, don't do
Oh,
that to me.
no.
I can't handle all the multiple inputs.
Wow. I feel like all day long it's been multiple.
Focus, focus, focus.
I get it. Girl, you are.
Oh,
Girl, you are.
queen of everything. Yes, I
There you go.
love it. Um, There's I don't what is it? There's an uh social media ad that like keeps popping up, the queen of something. I don't
Right.
remember what.
Oh, really?
I I, I
Very
shut
funny.
it down. I was like, I can't see this ad one more time.
I know. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm getting better at social media, as I just finished saying to you. I'm getting better.
We appreciate that so
It's
much.
it's it's a struggle for me, but I'll try. I'll try harder.
Just do our best,
I know,
like
right? I
there's
know. I'm trying.
infinite amounts of things that we can be doing,
It's
and
true. Yes.
we get to have kindness and grace to ourselves, and we just do the best we can, and that's all there is,
Thank you for saying that. I
right?
appreciate you. Yes. Yes. We are the queen of everything. This is a mug from my kids, like believe it or not.
Oh,
You know, I think they've been getting me mugs continually for years and years and years. So I got a good slew of them. I got to get something. Mom needs a new
that
mug.
I am back with my Cheryl Brown original, and
Aw.
um and I'll just say I almost wasn't going to drink cacao today on the show because
Hmm.
I did have some this morning, and
Hmm.
I try to avoid twice a day because it's a lot. And it's really a lot because tomorrow I have cacao ceremony here. So I'm
Ah,
going to have ceremonial dose tomorrow. But you know what? Like 10 minutes before the show, I was like, I really want this cup of cacao. And so I'm just going to have it and enjoy it.
enjoy. Enjoy it. Yes, to the fullest. To the fullest. So, what are we talking about today? Unless you want to say
Well,
anything else.
yeah, I want to share my story. I already shared the story with you, but it's
Okay.
funny, and um, and I think like other people will see themselves in it as well. So I guess
Okay.
I already shared the story with you, but I'll share it with the audience.
Okay.
So, like when you're an entrepreneur and you're doing things yourself, one of the things that is beneficial is to do networking,
Yes.
and I was involved in the Chamber of Commerce for many years. I did BNI many years. And um, a couple of years ago, I quit BNI, and I just decided like I need to meet new people, different people, and especially women. Like, yes, I have men that I support, and I know we
Mhm.
have male listeners here. Shout out
Mhm.
to, I know Geo listens almost every week, and
Mhm. Hi, Gio.
there's a few others that tune in, and so we appreciate you, and I love you,
Yep.
and all the women support the men that are on this path, and so, but the majority of my clients are still women, and so
Sure.
I joined two different women's networking groups last
Mhm.
year, and they have been great. But I also like, I know I need to get out there and meet new people.
Mhm.
And so on the social media, I found an ad for a local networking. Um, I think it's called Visionaries After Dark. I don't know. It's a dinner
Mhm.
thing. And, it's like, this is for the healers, the artists, the creatives, the this, the that. And I'm like, this is me. Okay. And it's a
Perfect.
dinner thing. It's a sit down dinner thing, which, like, because I hate like the standing in a bar and
Mhm.
exchanging business cards. Like, that's not for me either. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, this sounds up my alley. So I go to buy my ticket, and it turns out like you can't just buy a ticket. You have to be approved. And I had to share my
Mhm.
Instagram with them so they could like check me out and see who I am. And so like I'm like, whatever. I submitted it. I'm like, of course they're
Mhm.
gonna they're going to pick me. I'm like too cool to not pick me.
Yes.
But I am not going to lie. Like it also triggered that little girl in me. Like, are
Yeah.
they going to pick me? Am I cool enough? Are they going to
Yeah.
like me? And so it was a little, it did trigger a little bit. And a few hours later, I got the email that says, yeah, you're in. And I'm like, thank God. But it was just so funny to see that little, because I remember, grade school. Are you going to pick me for your team?
Yes.
Am I going to be the last one to be picked? Like, please don't let
Team
me be the
captain.
last one. Am I
Mm-hmm.
going to get invited to so and so's birthday party? Like all of those things. And so it definitely triggered
Oh.
that in me a little bit. And I'm just so happy to know I'm still cool enough to get picked. And you
Yes,
know what? Like,
congratulations.
if they hadn't picked me, I would have been,
Yeah.
thank you, universe, because it's Friday night. Like, I'm like
Well,
I put my pajamas on and sit on the couch and watch Netflix
yeah.
after dark on Friday.
Yes, you'd have
The
been
party
fine
girl in
either
me has
way.
retired, but
That's really part.
so
Yes, would have
we'll
been
see how
fine
it
either
happens.
way. Yes. Aw, I'm glad you got picked. And I hope it's worth your time for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm
I'll be
curious to
looking
see.
forward
Um,
to hearing about it.
no expectations, living in the space of curiosity, and
Yeah.
hopefully bringing my A game so that everybody wants to come be part of Body and Soul Ministries.
Yes, I think that's great. I know networking is key, and I'm glad you're doing it. I wish I could do it more. Um, I'll try to join you more in the future as things kind of free up. But it's important getting out there, getting out of our comfort zone a little bit and getting out there, meeting new people.
That's, and that's it. That for anything that we want to do, it's
Mhm.
so important to stretch ourselves outside of our
Yeah.
comfort zone. And um, yeah,
Yes.
I do it all the time because it's
Yes.
the only way that we grow. It's the only way we create change. So
Hmm.
step outside that comfort zone.
Yes. Absolutely.
Do you
Absolutely.
have anything you want to share before we talk about the topic?
Oh, nothing that's pressing at the moment. I mean, I know at the end of the show sometimes we say what's in the future. So maybe I'll just because that's on my mind is Sunday. So maybe I'll say it now instead of us saying it later.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday, fun day. We've got a sacred rose ceremony coming up. I am so excited to team up with Drea to create magical sound. And you're going to serve us some rose tea and hold that space and let us all circle up and enrich ourselves and all the things we're going to share and feel those lovely vibrations and frequencies. I'm really excited to tone and sing along. Drea's got great instruments and such a intuitive sense about what to play, how long to play it, how loud to play it. And so, I mean, the organic collaboration is just, I love it. So I'm really excited about Sunday. I'm hoping, we've got a good turnout. I think we already do. I think spots are kind of filling up fast.
It is filling
So
up
I
and
don't,
space is limited. So if you are thinking about it, get your
yeah,
tickets now.
yeah.
Snooze or lose. Or
That's
if
it.
you snooze, you lose.
If you snooze,
For
you
sure.
lose. That's
Yeah.
it. But hopefully
Um,
we'll create more in the future for sure. Because this is
I think
our
this I, I
second or
think it's
third.
gonna become a regular thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
I've
think it
been
is.
definitely getting some downloads about this whole thing because it is so magical.
It
It is
is.
unbelievably magical. So look
Yeah.
for more.
Yay.
So I feel
Oh,
called to say
yes.
this, and I don't think so much this topic. I think this topic is relatively benign, but I feel like I need to just say out there to the listeners
Mm.
the things I share. Like if what I say resonates with you and you like it, awesome. And if what I have to say doesn't resonate with you, just drop it. Like it's not for you. And that's
Mhm.
okay. I am never trying to convince anyone to believe what I believe. And part of that is because what I believe probably changes on the daily. You know, like, um, looking over the years, how my beliefs, my understanding of the universe and life and how everything functions has changed and shifted
Yeah.
so much. And
Yes.
so things come in, and when they're resonating with me, that's the space that I live from. But something new might come in and make me recognize that the belief I was holding no longer feels truthful to me. And so I let
Yes.
it go.
Yeah.
And,
That's,
I think sometimes people think that like truths are permanent, and they're not. The only
yes.
permanent truth is love, and
Oh.
everything else are just belief systems that come and go. So if you don't like what I say, that's okay. Don't like it. Don't believe it. Put it down. It's okay.
And then tune in next week to see what's changed.
See what's new. Yeah, because it'll be different.
That's it.
That's how it is.
It
That's how it
is.
is.
Because
Yeah.
you talk so much about limiting beliefs and how, you want to reshape that. It's not, we don't want to limit ourselves. We don't want to have these belief systems that kind of just corral us into contain us. And yeah, we keep getting new information day by day. I mean, no wonder these things change, and we're
Yeah.
fluid. We're fluid spirit. I
Yes.
agree.
Everything is fluid. And I do, because you said limiting beliefs. And this is something that, message that came through when I was in my talking with my guides about belief systems and limiting beliefs, and they
Mm-hmm.
instantly said all beliefs are limiting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, see that now.
Yes.
Like that one like hit me hard when it came to me, and I was like, oh. And then I put it out there, and people are like, but what about blah blah blah? And I'm like, yes, like on many levels that belief is empowering, but like I can show you where the limitation is on that belief. And
Mm-hmm.
so that, you know, that's a discussion for another.
I know. I know.
We can do a whole episode on that.
There you go. There you go. Remember that one for when we're planning. That's a good one. That's a good
Yes.
one.
So, but our topic of today
Yes.
is the promises we keep breaking to ourselves.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you
I
break
like
promises to yourself?
I have in the past. I'm not 100% for sure. And I do notice that over the years, they've gotten less and less and less. And I like this topic because it really kind of circles around trusting yourself, trusting your yeses, trusting your nos, being able to say no when people pleasing doesn't serve you anymore. It kind of just circles around that topic. And I've said it multiple times. I'm like a reformed people pleaser, So we got here. We got here. Or I should say myself. I got here. And I have been speaking my truth for years and years. And I know you've known me for so long. So you see a difference from 20 years ago, wherever how long we've known each other in this lifetime and many other lifetimes. But, speaking my truth has been a central theme the past few years. And yeah, I gained more confidence, but it's not about confidence. It's about knowing my truth and knowing who I am, and and then having the confidence to go ahead and say those truths or be those truths, no matter who's in my circle or where I am or who I'm meeting or how crazy they think I might be. It's time to be grounded in the knowing of who I am. So, I think I grew into it. It was a process. But the more I grew into it and honored my truth, every little time or every little bit along the way that I did that for myself, I grew more and more and more empowered in my truth. So yeah, so I feel good about it now, but I feel like everybody listen, or people listening may feel this as an issue for them, and that's why they're listening, and they're trying to understand what maybe a broken promise to themselves is and what it's doing to them, because it doesn't feel good, and they start negotiating with themselves, and what if, and am I going to hurt this person if I do it this way, or if I say this, who am I going to upset, and maybe I shouldn't say it, maybe I should just acquiesce and go along with whatever, or okay, say okay, I'll do it even though I really don't want to, those, and ooh, that didn't even feel good when I was doing that.
Right?
I actually felt that at a visceral level, and I felt myself go backwards. It
And
really,
I love that you just said that, because I my online 6-week, I don't know if I'm calling it a class, a mastermind. I don't know what I'm calling it. My 6-week container that I'm having, and it's called Reclaim Your Power. And that was one of the main topics of last night, was like paying attention to the sensations in our body, because we get so stuck in our head all the time. And that headspace is like danger zone, and it's
yeah,
feeding us false stories, false information, lies. And
yeah,
it just, ugh. Whereas when we slow down and quiet ourselves and listen to our body, our heart, like that's where our truth lies. And so, like you said, right there, I felt it. Like, yes, all of these things, like our body speaks to us in those ways, and trying to guide us. And most of the time we're up here in the head,
yes,
forgetting
yes,
to listen to this.
yes.
And so I love that you said that you felt that, like it was like a thing that we could actually see you experience it. And
Yeah,
like that is happening all day long to us. And
I
we're just
know,
not paying attention.
I
Pay
know,
attention,
I know,
people, pay
I
attention.
know. I'm telling you, and these visceral things happen, and we're kinesthetically aware. I mean, I know you and I are in the field of physical therapy for so long, and so the body is a really palpable and energetic force, right? And sometimes people are not used to feeling, and I'm sure you're coming into the group that you're leading and finding people that don't feel so much, and they've had this disconnect that happens. And sometimes I meet people and I go, oh, because I teach physical therapy, I think everybody knows that by now, but it's like when we have those that I call, they're floating heads, they're not in their body and they're not feeling their body, nor can they put their hands on somebody else and feel what's going on in them. And that's a problem. That's a problem. So I'm like, the floating head idea and just being here and logically or analytically thinking something through doesn't always serve us well. And that's, to your point, I experienced that. And I experienced that with some people. So in any event, are you there? You good?
I am here. I just realized I forgot to plug in my computer.
Okay. I'll keep talking.
No, I'm just here. I just had to reach down and
Okay.
grab the cord and plug it in.
Okay.
Because otherwise I really wouldn't have been here.
Right.
But yeah. And
so yeah, I know that you're good. You have a handle on that kinesthetic awareness, because I mean, we're in it, we've taught it, we've lived it for years and years and years as part of our practice. But do you ever have that issue of getting somebody to embody and feel? How do you run into people like that, right?
yeah. And this even, because we talk about the chakras and grounding, and I'll make the joke that I was born grounded. Like,
Yeah.
it is something that, and I think this is also what helps me to share these concepts with the rest of the world, that I don't have to work hard to stay grounded. You know, we have talked before, like it's always important to ground more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard when you want to connect spiritually and be in those upper chakras. Like we forget that we have to also be in the lower chakras as well.
Yeah.
And but being grounded, I think it helps me to be able to share these concepts in a way that makes sense for people. And for those that are struggling, there are lots of ways to get back in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it too is just the awareness. Like people don't even realize they're not in their body. And you just say,
Right.
hey, you're not in your body, get in your body.
Yes.
And then they can figure it out.
Yes. For sure.
So and we'll say, hi V, we're glad you're here.
Yay. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, we're practiced at it. And it's so much fun to be in the upper chakras for sure. I like to escape there along with you, you know, at any given moment. But it's true that we're still in this 3D and we have to move about the system, right? We got to go to work. We got to eat, sleep, feed ourselves, whatever. And sometimes we want to escape. And sometimes we use that as an escape. And that's another whole, I think, issue when it's hard to be that spiritual person, that spirit, having that human experience. We're both. And so sometimes it's hard to be both. But getting back to, I feel like just to come back to the topic, speaking of being yourself and being in your body and living your truth as it is here, being a human, you know, you're collecting information from your higher self. Let's say you're bringing it down into this human experience. And I think about how important it is to, let's say, not self-abandon that whole process. It's like, we need to belong to ourselves. We are important beings, right? We came here to do something spiritually in this body as this human. And it's like, don't abandon that. You know, I was thinking about this because I think sometimes we come here and the other or relationship is more important than our own needs. So for those that are, you know, the reformed people pleaser or on the way to that reform, it's a good idea to practice that self-talk, that self-love, that, you know, grabbing that higher self and saying, what are we doing? Let's get it done because I'm going to feel better. And I mean, naturally our vibration frequency goes up, but let's make these, you know, little promises, just as little promises to ourselves to carry out our truth and not negotiate that. Because every time we negotiate and we try to give something to somebody else and chisel away at our truth, it's not good for us. It's not good for us. We're kind of, and we can even say physiologically, we're like making these synapses fire in this way of constantly negotiating ourselves out of our truth. And that's not a pattern you want to hold on to. That's not part of the brain, right? That you want to create a reinforced synapse for. You want to live your truth.
Well, so, and I do want to put it out there. Like sometimes when we're talking about stuff, it's like, you know, because we've been working on this stuff for years, it's like, oh, it's just so easy to choose myself and keep my promises to myself. And the truth is, no, like we've both been on this planet for 58 years. And
yes, we have.
And so, and we've been at this for quite a long time. And I want to acknowledge that the programming that is out there to put others first and to follow rules and do what you're supposed to, and like that programming is strong and hard, and so it's not easy to break out of. You know, and you know, there's the whole do unto others as you would, you know.
Yes.
But we end up doing all the good stuff onto others, and we forget to do it to
Mhm.
ourselves as well.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Oh, I remember
so,
that.
but I loved what you said about like baby steps, because it is really hard to learn to put yourself first.
Mhm.
And so, doing the baby steps, trying just a little time here, a little time there. And
Mhm.
like anything, the more you practice it, the easier it gets.
Exactly. Create the patterns, create the synapses. I agree. And I mean, it may be scary to say that no or that, but man, it feels so good. Just do a little bit at a time. And before you know it, it will be just coming out of you like, okay, no, this is how I operate throughout my day. And it gets easier and easier and easier. And years ago, somebody told me, and he's sitting upstairs right now, but it's like, you have to be able, and especially in a relationship, to trust the other person's yeses and trust their nos. And you got to trust your own yeses and trust your nos, right? It's like, if you can't say along with a yes a no, then when do the no's come? When are you able to do that? I mean, no person can ever say yes all the time and not feel like they're shrinking, and I think, and it's funny, a friend of mine just went over to Japan. Maybe she's listening, and she talked about sometimes it's hard for that culture to say no. So there's a lot of programming across the world, and our U.S. born and bred here, as much as we think we have it, and maybe it's a religious connotation. You grew up Catholic like me, and it was pretty heavy and strong. Think about other cultures and how difficult it is for them to say no. So trust your yeses and trust your nos. I think that's a good idea. And I think there she is. Margaret's there. She knows I'm talking about her.
I do want to talk about, because we've talked quite a bit about like us breaking our promises to ourselves to serve others.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're breaking our promises to ourselves, just it's not because somebody else needs us or somebody else wants something else. Like, we're just breaking
Yeah.
them to ourselves. And
Uh, uh,
and
yeah.
a lot of times I see this as self-sabotage.
Oh,
Like,
yes. That's a good
um it's not that we don't want to do these things, but when we choose ourselves and when we keep the promises to ourselves, we
point.
grow as human beings. We become more.
Mm-hmm.
We become more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this so much, that people are afraid of becoming that more empowered version of themselves, that better
Mm-hmm.
version of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of greater expectations being placed on you when you do this. And
Yeah, that's
I'm
good
like,
stuff.
take a deep breath, but like, you can make it, you can do it. And like, that better version of yourself that you're stepping into,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna feel so good when you get there. Like, there might be, some growing pains, some little,
Yeah.
like, you gotta figure it out, but it's so worth it.
Oh, it
It's so
really
worth
is.
it.
It so is. It's all, I love that you said that. It's a promise to make to yourself. It's a part of the relationship to yourself. And that's the thing, when we learn all these selfless acts and how wonderful, and those people that have been selfless throughout the ages have so many accolades and even sainthood graced upon them. So we think that's the way. But honestly, it's not, because, and I wish we can go back into the life of like a Mother Teresa, you know what I mean? And those that have served. It is good to serve, and I'm not saying it's not, but to at what cost are you serving others? You know, is it a completely, because when I hear the word selfless, and I just heard it yesterday because I actually had to go to a funeral in a church, and it talked all about that, you know, how this person who had just passed and they were honoring was so selfless. And I thought about it, and I said to myself, but wait a minute, I heard all the things and how wonderful he was and what an impact he was to everybody that was there, like to all of his friends, all of his families, a wonderful person. But also, he was an amazing person in and of himself. He created a self that really was honored. He did wonderful work that fed him. He was passionate. He served in the church, served other people, yes, but he really grew himself too. And he you know, found his passions and gave to himself time to cultivate all those passions, and in turn was giving to those in a very I don't know, embodied self, you know, in that way. And I think it was a beautiful moment. So I almost want to take that selfless term out
Yeah.
of our vocabulary sometimes, you know. So anyway.
Yeah, because it's often associated with being selfish, and it's not.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so when you honor yourself and become the best version of yourself and take care of yourself and honor your promises to yourself, you're going to
Mhm.
be able to show up even better for those.
Thank
You know, I
you.
tell people all the time, if you let your cup get empty, you're not going to have anything to get to, you know, to give to anybody.
Absolutely.
So it is important to honor your promises to yourself, to take care of yourself so that
Yeah.
you feel good, so that you can show up, you know. And I see that in people all the time when they've given and given and given and there's nothing left. And it's like,
Yes.
you don't even want to be around that person.
Right.
Then they're like trying to suck the life out of you because they got
Yes.
nothing left. They're like, give me, give me, give me.
Yes.
And you know, that's when being selfless, or I mean,
Selfish.
being selfish becomes selfish because you've drained yourself and now
Yes.
you're like taking from others. And
Yes.
so, you know, trying to grab the life raft to stay afloat. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. A little vampire-ish. I've had those types come in and just sucking the life force energy out of me, you know. And over the years, I've learned to, you know, repair myself, right? Give myself time and rebuild the trust with myself the same way I rebuild the trust with another person. You know, the truth, the consistency, the repair, the time. I just, you know, you keep at it. And again, I always think you build your synapses, right? And you build the strength. It's like the muscle right here, right? You're building that muscle up to understand yourself and know when you need time for yourself to repair. And what feeds you is important to know, because I think sometimes we, you know, being that selfless person and going around and doing for everybody else, do you ever take the time to even know how you feed yourself? You know, how to boost yourself up? Like you said, fill your cup. How do you fill your cup? I mean, this is a good question. You know, for example, I mean, I fill my cup by spending time in Body and Soul Ministries. And, you know, and because I've done that and gone into my spiritual self, all the things that I do, whether it's reading or watching a show or having conversations like with you right now, this actually, I know we're doing this for others, but it's filling my cup. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
Yeah. 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 Because I don't get to have these conversations with everybody. I was at work all day, right? This is not work. This is fun. And so if that, you know, if that fun is also giving to other people who are listening and letting this information or this conversation feels like home to me. Like somebody listening, I'm sure is saying, oh, this feels like home. I love this conversation. Well, then win-win, right?
I do want to mention, because this is something that comes up so much because of the programming and constantly serving other people and people pleasing. Like sometimes it comes down to people don't even know what they want for themselves. So
Yeah.
how do you even make a promise to yourself when you don't even know what it is that you want?
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, you have to stop going with what everybody else wants and what everybody else needs, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can actually tune in and find, what does your heart, what does your soul actually want?
That's right.
What promises does your soul want you to make for yourself?
Mm-hmm. I love that. It's
Yeah.
it's a practice, but it's a good one. And I know, whether you meditate or just, I mean, have a conversation with a dear friend or somebody, maybe that you admire, or they have some practices and the way they think resonates with you, and you can bounce some ideas off of that person too. I think that relationships, right, teach about ourselves as much as we can learn about ourselves individually. That every relationship is teaching us how we are and who we are. And and there are people you can have conversations in safe spaces with that can guide you, as I know we both do that. You do that with your individual practice, right? And I do too. And also, when I teach or in conversation with my family or friends, I mean, there's no accident that we have a lot of people that like to talk to us, right? Whether it's their paid client or a family or a friend, because of the safe space that we create for the exploration of the other. I mean, I feel that way. Don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
so I'm curious,
Yes.
do you have a promise that you've made to yourself that you're still working on fulfilling?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a loaded question. I didn't even have that one ready. Ah,
Just
threw
putting
it
you
at
on the
me.
spot a little bit.
You are. What's a promise yeah, I'm okay. Sure. I do have this promise that I'm trying to elevate to fulfill. And because my ultimate fun and what I like to do, and how much toning and singing really fills me up, I just want to make this just grandiose gathering happen and create sound that moves us to another level. I mean, creates a portal for those that are listening, like just lifts everybody up. And I want the opportunity to do it more than just once every few months. Um, there's something there for me yet that I haven't cracked open. I know I keep expanding to allow that promise to be fulfilled. I'm not giving up on that promise. And I know I said to you, I think I even texted it to you or something. I'm like, when the opportunity arises, and you're like, well, let's make that opportunity. So I think that's the promise that I'm working with, is to get there, to fulfill my ultimate dream and passion.
I
So
love that. And part of the reason I had you do that, because just, I was like, I love giving people little tips as to how to make these things happen. So a lot of times we make promises silently to ourselves, and that's great and that's fine. But when we
yeah.
actually speak them out loud and put them into the universe, like now it's been heard, and the
It's been
universe is already organizing itself and creating the situation such that
Mhm.
that will become a reality.
That's awesome.
So anybody
love that.
out there who's got a promise that to yourself that you're struggling to fulfill, speak it out loud. I also like writing it. Write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down, speak it out loud. Make a ritual about it. This was one of the things that I was, telling people on our online. So like, even though the thing was online and no one could actually see, but on my desk where I was sitting, I lit a candle, I burned some Palo Santo, I had some crystals there, all to support me in fulfilling this online course that I was, I'm not going to lie. It was like my first time creating an online course of this caliber. I've done other online stuff in the past, but this is definitely like a new level for me. And so, yeah, I'm going to pull in all the tools possible to make that
Yeah.
happen. And before I went on, I was doing some prayers out loud, like not just,
Yeah.
oftentimes we pray and we pray silently in our head, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, out loud, hey, universe, God, source, creator, whatever that is for you,
Yes.
I am grateful for the support that you are giving me in fulfilling this promise to myself.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. And so I'm going to speak my promise to myself out loud.
I love it.
Not quite as fun as yours, because mine is rather mundane, but very mundane. But because of everything that I've got going on in my world, the place that has sacrificed my attention, and I know that it impacts me in many ways, is my house is a mess. It's a
Oh,
mess. And I know that it needs organization. And so to make sure that this happens, I am like promising to myself online here on YouTube that I'm going to get my house tidied up so that
oh, I
I
love it.
feel better every day. And so,
Yes.
like I said, it's really mundane, and I know that it is going to make a difference for me and make everything else in my life better. And so with that, I want to say, like, everybody out there that's listening, I want you to say it out loud, but I also want you to type it in the comments of this episode. Like, what is that
Yeah.
promise that you are going
Yeah.
to for yourself? And then if
I
I
love
get
it.
in touch with you, I'm going to follow up with you and see, did you keep that promise? And I know I'm gonna be assisting you on keeping your promise to yourself, because the world needs that 100%. And you can check in on me and make sure I'm keeping my promise to
I
myself.
am. I'm going to. I am. I'm going to
Next
show
time,
up.
next time you're at my house in the backyard, you're
I was
gonna
going to
ask to
say,
come inside the house and see what I've done.
I'm going to. I'm going to hold you to that next sweat for sure. For sure.
Oh,
And I'd be happy to support you in that whenever you need. I'm I'm an organizer a bit.
yeah.
I think support is needed, and thank you for supporting me and everybody else you support. You are an amazing support to everyone, and you can use it too and receive.
We have
So
our
we're
first
gonna.
promise.
What is she saying? Promise to pursue what I want versus what society thinks a mom should act like. Ooh,
That's a
Margaret,
good one.
I
That's a
love
good
it.
one.
That's an
All right.
excellent one. I
And
love it.
probably too much to write, but next time I see Margaret in person, I want to know more details of what
Yep.
that looks like for her. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah. You get the whole picture.
that is my dream, is that everybody learns that it's okay to do things your way.
Yep. Absolutely.
I know the programming is so strong out there, the shoulds, the expectations,
Yeah.
and enough of all of that. Like, it's
Yeah.
time to express yourself, and like moms can express their love to their children in
Yes.
the way that feels right for them, not the
Yes.
way that society tells you that you're supposed to do that. So I love
That's
that
right.
so much.
Yeah, that's an important one. Life
Any,
fulfilled, mom. Life fulfilled, mom.
any final remarks, comments?
Oh my goodness. I would just say on this episode, everybody out there, rebuild the trust with yourself. Let yourself have time, be consistent with it. Know that your importance and your self worth, your life depends on it. So make it happen. It's that important.
Honor
You feel
yourself as much as you honor others, if not
others.
even more than you honor others.
Love that.
That's what the world needs. That's what I
That's it.
need. All
That's
right.
it. All right. That's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Have a magical day, everyone.
All right.